So at the current moment of time, right now, everybody is upset at Tyson Fury because he decided to go make a little bit more money and take on none other than the lineal, undisputed UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Francis Le Predator Ngannou. And the reason why he did that was because, let's just face facts about Usyk. Usyk is not marketable. He doesn't try. He can't be bothered with. If you ask him to go shoot a promo or do anything like that, he's just not going to do any of that because he just feels that it is insignificant to his boxing career. Now, I've mentioned this plenty of times. I looked in the comments section during one of Sean Strickland videos where people are saying to the effect of, it's not about marketing, it's about fighting and this and that, and to a certain degree there is. And by the way, I'm going to drop another video regarding Sean Strickland becoming the Stone Cold Steve Austin of MMA, meaning that he was the unlikely top man of the company to become the biggest star in terms of Conor McGregor numbers. And everything that's shifting towards his career right now is doing exactly that. It is shifting towards a trajectory that Sean Strickland and any of us would have never ever imagined for him. So he did right all for himself. He put himself out there, unlike Usyk. So if you want anyone to blame why this Tyson Fury Usyk matchup is not happening to unify the undisputed World Heavyweight Boxing Championship, it is because Fury can't be bothered with a guy that doesn't go out there and promote himself. Usyk believes that just because he comes from a war-torn country, that this is enough for him to somehow garner the attention of fans. And I'm sorry to tell you that it's just not good enough. And the reason why it's not good enough is because, let's face it, is the war in Ukraine a very significant historical point of time at this current moment and the current events that's going on in the world right now? 100%. It is a big factor in the news. It is also a very important factor to try to understand what is going on, who are the key players, and why one country wants to do what the other wants to do to the other country, and who benefits from what. All these things are very important to understand. However, you got to understand that the general masses of the casual fan base are normies. And what do I mean by that? Well, for one, a lot of these people, they go to the next best thing. Okay, Russia and Ukraine is a big news, right? But to attach that to Usyk, I think is just fairly ridiculous, based on the fact that the attention span of the American audience is just not going to garner that type of attention and attach it to somebody like Usyk. Now, credit to Usyk. He's a talented boxer. He's great. I could go on and on about his footwork, his jabs, his movement. The fact that, well, I mean, I could even criticize the fact that he's less elusive in a heavyweight division as he was during the cruiserweight division days, where he was just an absolute Prince Nassim of a fighter, being able to move, duck and dodge, and then just have this insane elusive footwork that transports him from one side of the ring to the other. Okay, I could talk about that all day long, but the problem is it doesn't translate with the fact that he just doesn't put himself out there. Does he do TikTok videos where he goes and dances and does these photo ops with Ukrainian troops? Yes, this is all great. The problem is you need a little bit more than that. And now you look at Sean Strickland, which I'm going to transition into a separate video, not with this one, but to add Sean Strickland into this, look at the way that this man had promoted himself. Look at the way that this man stayed true to himself, but not only that, was not shy to talk. You see, the problem with Alexander Usyk and the Eastern European mentality in combat sports is that they don't want to step out of line when it comes to fight promotions. And granted, you don't want to be fake either. You don't want to create some kind of persona that doesn't really justify who you are as a real person or as a person of value to the sport in terms of your skills, in terms of what you can do. I understand that. The problem is the fighting is really taking place outside of the ring before the fight, because then there are other factors that you have to deal with. And all the guys that have come up in the regional scene know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to ticket sales. Being able to garner different types of fans to come see you. Being able to diversify your fan base in different regions. And on top of that, different locations around the world. And different commercial advertisements that you can do in terms of getting yourself out there, or just different platforms that can offer you a new audience. Alexander Usyk is not doing any of that. So this is why Tyson Fury feels the need to go out there and fight the likes of Francis Ngannou. Now, is Francis Ngannou really any different? Well, I'm going to tell you what. The guy has a very interesting story. He came from a poverty-stricken Cameroon, started digging mines, became a migrant, got arrested multiple times by different EU and Interpol immigration services, such as the Spanish, the Moroccans, and even other African countries, and France. He had to deal with all these things, living homeless in Paris, not even knowing what MMA was before he stepped into an MMA factory gym of Paris, owned by Fernand Lopez, and then introduced to a sport based on the fact that he really wanted to do boxing originally. And now here we are. So that's a story that you could sell. And a lot of people are going to say that, well, you know what? It's not about selling. It's not about this and that. To you, it's not. The reason why to you it's not, and the reason why for someone like me it's not, is because they already got us. We are going to watch Valentina Shevchenko rematch Grasso tomorrow. And this is on a Friday, of which you're listening to this right now. We're all going to see that. We're the hardcore fans. We're all going to watch Demetrius Andrade fight his next boxing match, even if it's a big marquee name or some random mandatory. We're going to watch all that. We're going to watch Errol Spence Jr. taking on Terrence Crawford in a rematch, based on the fact that we're probably going to be the only ones that are going to be there, in the exception of the casual fan base that was there in a previous fight. They're not going to be there. Only the hardcores are going to watch everything. So we're not talking about you. But you want to get out there, you want to make more money, you want to be iconic, you want to become a global superstar, you got to go out there and reach the globe. That's literally the meaning of what it means to be a global superstar, is you have to wow the entire globe.